Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Yahweh being the true name for the Father, Yahushai being the name for his only begotten Son, plural, ignorantly called God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles, double honors to our elders, a great millstone, that taught us truth and will well. And salutations to you, hopeful eloquence in this truth and honesty and sincerity. This is Buddy Yahusap, because you know this is the spirit power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And this lesson is just going through the spirit, in transit, impromptu, just meditating on really being prepared, to move when the spirit tells you to move and being ready to go. Just a word of advice. It might be good for brothers to start researching and learning about, getting more in tune with nature and dwelling in tents and booths. Okay, because as this economy progresses and things begin to unfold, what's going to be forced for all of us to happen is that you're not going to be able to depend on this financial system anymore. Meaning everybody would pretty much be extremely poor, broke, and or homeless. Both, or both. So there's things that the scriptures hint to us that, for some of us are going to have to go through and make adjustments and move a certain way. This is the book of Matthew 24 and 15. It says, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains." It says, "Let him which is on housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days." Right? So another time period is approaching. This didn't happen in the past, but another time period is approaching where the prophets are going to be heavily persecuted for speaking out against the established order. The government calling out the wickedness and the demonic things that Esau, Edom is doing. And really, they don't like their plans being exposed. And a lot of us are not going to conform to when that MOTB, that Revelation 13 and 16, the rice grain, the thing that they want to put in your hand, your forehead, to control you. When we refuse that, you're going to become enemies of the state. And they're going to bring up all your records of your lessons you've done, speaking against Esau, Edom, and this wicked kingdom, and say that you're an enemy of the state. So they're going to try to come after you. And a lot of you are going to lose your homes and things like that, due to not being able to pay for it, because you don't have the financial means to do so. Cash is going to be done away with. Everything's going to be digital currency. And with you refusing to take the thing in your hand that is going to be your currency, you're not going to have any money to pay for your rent or your mortgages. Okay? And they even got plans to put people in different social classes, and they're going to establish a similar social credit system here in the United States as they're doing in China. And everybody's going to be put to a certain limit on how much money that they're going to have access to at a given time. So you, for example, you may be in class A, B, or C. Class C might be the bottom. You may only access to $2,500 a month. That's it. And it's going to be on that payment system I was talking about. The mark of the beast that goes in your hand, in your forehead. And based on how you are in society and your level of important person as far as politics or maybe military or whatever it be, you're going to be put in a certain class. These are plans that you can research and look up and read about, or what they want to do. So a lot of you going back to ground zero and back to our roots and back to the basics. You got to know how to make a tent. You got to know how to hunt your own food. You got to know how to fish. You got to know how to be, the scriptures say, pilgrims upon the earth. You got to know how to move, man. You got to know how to, fight. Use them hands, hand-to-hand combat. You got to know how to shoot. You got to know how to use a bow. Okay? These are things that you don't know what the Lord has Lot has for you. Some of us might get thrown into FEMA camps, okay, but a lot of us are not. A lot of us will be having to go and flee into the mountains, man, like Yahweh Shai said. And while you're there, you're gonna have to know some things. And we're still in a time period of enough peace to where you have access to the internet and Google, and you can watch videos. You know, look up bushcraft, a lot of bushcraft videos, and look up primitive to surviving. Okay, primitive ways to start fire, primitive ways to make clothing. You know, how to skin a deer, things like that, man. That's going to be priceless information for you in the times to come when you stand for the Lord. Okay, know how to get into all these things, research it. You know, me personally, I'm all into that stuff. You know, I'm all into it. You know how Gad lived in the wilderness, and it was custom for Gad, certain tribes, man, as an initiation into manhood. You would have a boy, you know, that kind of age of 12 to 14 years old. You know, the tribe would take him and dump him off in the woods, and come back to pick him up and see, make sure he survived. Drop him off. He's out there by himself. You know, 7, 14 days, or however many days they deem necessary. You know, but they live permanently that way. But guess what? There's research and books and materials that you can buy to just read and learn those ways and get into it. Get into wild edibles and things like that. Salakia is kind of storming out here now. You can probably hear the rain, but you know, we got to be ready for these things when they happen. This is the book of Ezekiel 34 and 25 says, "And I will make with them a covenant of peace, and will cause the evil beasts to cease out of the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness and sleep in the woods." Now this happened during the time period during King David, you know, and his people and his army being persecuted and chased. And this is coming back too. This is a prophetic scripture. Okay, if you think about all this economy going to crash and shit like that, you know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I'm trying to say. Well, watch that movie that came out called Civil War. You're gonna see the chaos and the desolation of this country's gonna be in when the shit hits the fan. You know, so knowing how to make a fish trap at the bank of a river, the river's edge, is gonna be highly important, man. It's gonna be highly important to know how to do that. Knowing how to make your own rope, you know, out of tree bark or different plants or tall grasses, building shelters. Hey, y'all brothers, get into that stuff, man. And Lord will Avaratazah, I'm gonna go back to uploading videos on some of that stuff, man. Because in the past I've done a lot of videos on how to identify wild fruits and vegetables that you can find even in your own backyard, herbs. You know, I'm gonna try to do some lessons, Lord's will, on starting fires and things like that for the brothers, showing them as well. If any other brothers got that knowledge, make sure you're sharing it. Okay, because it's not going to be all of our lots to be out there. Some people might, you know, have a different lot, may not have the opportunity to do something like that. Like I said, some brothers going to be made martyrs. Some brothers going to get in FEMA camps, you know, and break out of the FEMA camps and get delivered out of them. But they may not necessarily be living in the woods like that. You know, some brothers might be stuck in a situation where they're stuck in a more urban setting, and they're trying to survive in a city, which that's the worst place you can be in. If I can give you advice and you're able to do it, please, 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 if you live in a big city, do not try to survive in no damn middle of a big city. Get the fuck away from any concrete buildings or urban developed neighborhoods, as far away from those areas as possible. Because that's going to be a death trap. It's going to be a death trap, you know. The best thing you can do is flee to the mountains, man. Or flee down south in the wilderness where it's maybe a little bit warm. You know, down south a little bit warmer. If you don't have to deal with snow and things like that, if possible. You know, but mountains, being close to the mountains is good. But also keep in mind, even out there, this is why you're going to need divine intervention. You're going to have a lot of gung-ho Edomites that's been hunting in those type of environments and they're gonna be out there trying to survive and do what they got to do. That's gonna come against the government too. And during that time, it's going to be, everybody is going to be against each other. So they're going to be looking to take whatever resources, take advantage of whatever people they got. You're going to have cannibals out there. You're going to have different militias set up and gangs set up. And you're going to have other countries that are going to be encamping out in the wilderness too, because they're going to be at war with this nation over here to fight and sabotage stuff. And you're going to have different brigades and different troops, out there, marching and going through to get to different military bases and shit that you can run into. So even in the wilderness, you're not scot-free. But it's better than being right in the smack dab middle of the dead city, though. But this is why you're going to need to have the true name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man. Because you're going to need to call upon that name for miracles to be delivered out of certain situations. This is the book of Proverbs 18:10. It says, the name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. So that's going to be your safety net. Call upon the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Having faith. And some brothers may not have the time or may not get the message to learn about all this stuff until the very last second. But the Lord's still going to send angels for protection, and He'll provide, man. Hey, remember, he fed Elijah in the woods basically by a creek, by a brook. He sent a raven to give him meat and bread, man. He was fed, taken care of. So don't think that those type of miracles won't be provided for you brothers that's been laboring teaching this truth. He's going to take care of you, man. But it's just on my spirit to get that message out there, because times is getting tough, and spring has hit, and we're approaching in the early ages of summer. So now you can actually get out there out outdoors and start doing stuff, man. Just start getting into it, because it's really important, man. So with that, it's a quick hit in transit lesson. Lord's will is edifying. I'm going to close out and give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, taught us truth and will, and citation to hopefully puts truth and honest sincerity. Shalom.